Hello, friends. It's Jamie from Seasons and Ritual and Independent Street Tarot, and I'm here to talk a little bit about the week that we are in. Um, we are still in Capricorn season. It is January 8th, and we are moving towards the big energy, which is on the 20th when Pluto moves into Aquarius at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So I thought maybe we just keep working with the energy as we get to that point and then keep working with it afterwards. So um, let's start with today. Today is Monday. The sun is still in Capricorn. The moon is waning. It's getting smaller because we're moving towards the dark moon of Capricorn that will be on the 11th. Things to note that Mars moved into Capricorn on the 4th, and the sun squared Chiron on the 6th, and that's a 90-degree angle. So the reason I bring up the sun, who's in Capricorn, squaring Chiron on the 6th, which was Saturday, because that's the Epiphany, and did a little video on that if you want to watch, is because it probably brought up things that we need to realize that we need to let go of. Chiron is known as the wounded healer, but now we just see him as the great healer. So if things came up on Saturday, I know I told my sister, I was like, I feel a little punchy today, because I knew there were things coming up. That were in my mind, how I didn't want to bring forward. Like I didn't want to keep feeling this energy of, or I don't want to be put in situations where I feel like I have to, all those things, if those things came up on Saturday or even are still coming up now, start to realize that that's the story that needs to be changed and is changing. Okay, because once we have that epiphany, if you will, the epiphany, then that's how things get changed, knowing that the story can change, knowing that you're not locked into that way of thinking or that way of being. So I bring up that square because we are in this waning moon. And when the moon is in the waning, it's when we start getting rid of things. It's when things come up that we're like, that's not fitting into my life story anymore. So either change it, let it go, transmute it, forgive yourself for thinking it in the first place, all those things. Because we're going into a lot of powerful energy. Everything on the planet is shifting. So, and again, when I say these things, it doesn't have to be huge shifts. It can be tiny shifts, just like knowing that or realizing that, right? That's that aha. And that creates a new energy signature that then starts bringing in different energy, ways of feeling, ways of thinking, ways of communicating. So, especially to yourself, Aquarius is about the self first and then the community. So, we're still in Capricorn, which is good because it's how we work. Pluto is in Capricorn right now before it heads into Aquarius. So it's been in Capricorn for 15 years. And that's why we're saying we're ending a 15-year cycle. So that's a long time, you guys. So things are going to get a little kooky, if you will, because coming out, if you can think of like 0 to 15 of your life and how you are at 15, and then 15 to 30, think how much changes, right? And so Pluto's been in Capricorn for 15 years. That's a lot of growth and change in us as humans. And we're about to go into this age of Aquarius. So, you know, things are going to be changing, which is great because we need some fresh air. And Aquarius is an air sign. So tomorrow on the 9th, I got to check my notes. The sun in Capricorn is going to trine Uranus. Uranus is retrograde in Taurus. Okay. Um, Uranus has been in Taurus now, I think, for instance, 2017, 2018. And Uranus rules Aquarius. And Uranus in Taurus, and I've been talking about this for years, whether you've been catching me on Instagram before I moved over to YouTube or not, but that was really, Uranus is the disruptor. Uranus is the cosmos. Uranus is the rebellion. So Uranus has been churning up the soil in Taurus, who has fixed Earth for years now, getting ready for Pluto to move into Aquarius. So the sun in Capricorn is going to be trining Uranus, who is retrograde. So that is 120 degrees. So the thing is, if we have a circle, right? Because that's how we look at the astrological signs. So like the sun is here and then it's like 120 degrees away from um Uranus, who's in Taurus right now. So that's what makes that trine. So the sun in Capricorn trining Uranus, that's another aha moment, okay? Because again, Uranus is the rebellion, right? Uranus is the disruptor. Um, Uranus brings in new ways of thinking, right? And so it's hitting that beautiful 120 degrees. It's like, hey, Capricorn, hey, Sun, what's going on? What's going on in Capricorn? And it's like, oh, wait, look what's going on, right? And again, because Uranus is retrograde, this is going to be something with us. It's going to be something with how we value ourselves, how we see ourselves, how we want to work. Because Uranus is retrograde, and usually when planets are retrograde, it's about going within. So on the 9th, which is tomorrow, and you could guys could be getting it today. It's not like hard fast because these are planets with energy. Um, Start seeing if you have an aha moment, like, oh my God, like, wait, I can do it this way. Or, you know, new opportunities are coming in. At the same time, I feel it more like what's leaving because the moon is also waning, right? So if these new opportunities are coming in or you're thinking about things differently, it's because you're releasing things. So allow things to keep releasing. Allow yourself to see yourself differently. Release those negative thought patterns for sure. You know, like I could never do this or things like those blanket statements don't need to go. Don't need to be in your life anymore. They need to go. So allow that to happen. And especially like take some time to be quiet. You know, maybe get off social media so you can get a new idea, you know, instead of being thinking like it has to be this way. I have to present this way. I have to say it this way. Nope. We're moving into this age of Aquarius. So which honors the individual. So start seeing what comes in. And if you start thinking things like, oh wait, I could do it like this, put that note in there, right? You don't have to keep up with everyone else. You don't have to compete with the whole world, you know? This is about you in your community that's coming in. So on the 9th, which is tomorrow, see what starts coming in because see what's changing, see what's leaving, in the way that you think about yourself, in the way that you value yourself, in the way that you value your time and value others. Um, and this energy is going to be strong during the dark moon as well, because the sun and moon will both be trining Uranus uh, on the 11th, right? So we'll get to that when we get to the dark moon. But right now, start seeing all these aha moment coming in because start seeing what you can leave behind and that you're not bringing with you that offers up more space. Um, Also, Mars, who is in Capricorn, right? Mars moved into Capricorn on the 4th, is sextiling Saturn, who is in Pisces at 3 degrees. Okay. Um, Mars in Capricorn. So again, sextiling is 60 degrees. So if we have our 360-degree circle, one is here and then one is 60 degrees, or I don't know, whatever, 60 degrees is more like this, I guess. 60 degrees from each other. So that's a really good energy. So stick with me. Mars moved into Capricorn. Okay. Saturn, who rules Capricorn, is in Pisces. Okay. So this is like, Saturn is on vacation in Pisces, and Mars is like phoning in, being like, "Hey, how's it going? How's it going over there in in Pisces?" Okay, Pisces is the 11th sign. You know, Pisces is dreams, right? But Pisces can also be illusion, and so we're kind of clearing up this idea of how we have to be or who we're supposed to be, and we can let these things go because Saturn has parked itself in Pisces. Okay, so Saturn in Pisces is bringing stability because Saturn wants stability in things. That's why Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. Capricorn likes to work. Capricorn likes stability. Capricorn can navigate water and land, right? That's you want to be able to navigate these things if you're making things stable, right? If you're building a house, you want it to be able to be on a strong foundation and also take the elements, right? Wind, water. So Capricorn, I mean, so Saturn, so that's what Capricorn does. So Saturn is in Pisces, and Because of this, right? Mars in Capricorn, it's going to show us how to see through the illusion, and it's going to show us, highlight what's making us feel tired and what needs to be let go of. It's still that same pattern, right? Because um if we believed, oh, I always have to show up to this job, or I always have to do this, or, it's usually an always in there, okay? Um, then the reality of it is like, no, like in Saturn, and this is going to be Saturn in Pisces is sort of an ego buster in a good way, okay? And especially with Mars, because Mars is that divine masculine. He's in Capricorn right now, so he's going to work like the best way it knows how. Um, and a lot of times when we're stuck in that illusion of like, I have to do it this way, this is my job for the rest of my life is over, all those good things. Um, Saturn is in there at Pisces saying, no, that's the illusion. That's not true. You can do whatever you want. And Mars and Saturn are having that conversation. Mars is like, okay, how do you want me to move forward? Do I need to move forward the same old way? And Saturn is saying, nope, no, we don't. We don't move forward the same way because the way we were doing it was killing our soul, not making us happy, making us think those negative thought patterns, right? And we're moving out of that. So we're letting go. It's like a huge release, again, because that moon is in the waning form. So the way that I see it a lot of times is like, um, so Saturn comes in and has a certain vibration, right? And Pisces has a certain vibration. Um, and I always want to say, and that lower Pisces energy is a hot mess. All our lower energies are a hot mess, as you can imagine. Um, and Pisces is that illusion, not seeing clearly, addiction, um, being very confused, right? And so here comes Saturn. Saturn comes in and it's like if you hit a bell and it sounds one way and it's vibrating. And so and Pisces, if we're stuck in that lower Pisces vibration, it sounds awful because you have these two noises and they're like, oh my God. But what they do is they keep working together until they harmonize. And so that's what's happening. We've got to get to this harmonizing idea with Saturn and Pisces, right? So if we're talking about our dreams, and if we're just being like crazy, goofy, like, oh, and Saturn's just sitting there, Saturn's going to keep asking, okay, well, what does this look like? What does this look like? Especially with Pisces, what does this feel like? What does this feel like? And if right now what it feels like is exhaustion, overwhelmed, lots of tears, no zest for life, that's what you got to get rid of. All right. And Mars is going to be like, got it. That's what we're not going to keep working with. So how how do I work through this? Okay. Now, Capricorn wants stability, Mars wants movement. Okay. And Pisces is the dreamlike state. So, but Mars, because he's divine, understands patience. And Saturn knows that it wants to gain a little bit more information before it starts building. So again, take your time. I think the main thing what to focus on this week is what we're releasing in order to get out of those feelings of overwhelm, not having any fun, you know, same old, blah, we want to get out of that. So start noticing what's coming up and what can be released. Because I will tell you this, and this is something we all have to learn. I had to learn it too. The world keeps moving. If you're at a job or a place and you're there and you're running it and you're running it very well and you're killing it, but you don't like it anymore, a couple things. First and foremost, it's okay to move on, right? Because the world keeps moving, right? It just does. Like, I hate to say that, but like if you all of a sudden could not show up for work would find out what to do in order for it to keep moving forward. And it's important for us to know that. That's that ego buster of Mars sextiling Saturn and Pisces. The reality of it is it's going to keep going. The illusion is this can't go on without me. That's the illusion. The reality is, oh, it will still go on without you. And if it doesn't, then it wasn't stable enough to keep moving forward. Does that make sense too? That's also Saturn, because Saturn wants stability. So even if you don't like, so if you start having these aha moments, like, oh my God, I don't have to do this, or I can let that go, or I can bring this in, but I'm gonna have to change that. And you might feel a little sad because you're like, I'm gonna not maybe be in this position, or you have the epiphany that like, I don't need to be here anymore. And there's feelings along with that. Okay. Honor those feelings, but also know things keep moving forward. And it doesn't have to be at lightning pace, but things do keep moving forward. Okay. So use these good trines and sextiles, especially um, with these big, with the big fixed planets such as Taurus, Uranus in there, destroying Taurus. I know that sounds intense, but it has been, right? So we can set these new seeds. And then, allow Mars. And if you start to get feeling a little irritated or which I did, I got irritated yesterday, friends, because I was and but we worked it out, right? We worked it out and we're back on the same page and things feel better. And also, but it was like, the person I was working with had to realize like they didn't have to control everything. Um, like we have to remember sometimes, like it's not always up to us, like to let go. You get it. Okay. Um, so, and also use this. What is this bringing up about your health? Okay. This is also about your health. If these places, how you're working or how you think about yourself, right, is like not good for your health, see what needs to let go and see what needs to come in. Saturn is boundaries. Okay. You know, how I need to change habits. Um, yeah, like to how to change habits. And again, Mars does like movement, but being in Capricorn, there's not going to be movement until it feels a little more stable. So allow this trining, trining and sextiling to work for you. Okay. Maybe take a breath. Maybe get into the new idea that it is 2024 and things are changing. Um, like I said, we are working towards this dark moon in Capricorn. And a lot of times, the dark moon I always see as rest. So this energy is coming in, we're realizing these things. Our masculine and feminine are starting to talk to each other really well now because they're getting closer together. That's the sun and the moon. When they get together, that's that time of rest and planting seeds, as we say. Um, so start seeing what's coming up right now. Take those notes. Maybe I don't have to do it this way anymore. Maybe I don't think about it this way anymore. I honor myself more, so I'm not going to have those negative thoughts anymore, right? And then when we get to that dark moon, that's when we rest. We talk about it with ourselves, and then we start moving forward. So waning moon, take some time to rest. Good energy coming in this week, especially like if the energy on the weekend was a little punchy because we might have been reminded of some old stories or some old wounds that we don't want to take forward anymore. And I'm letting you know, you don't have to take them forward anymore. The universe is stacking up in our favor. So just keep working with it, but be present and pay attention. Okay, friends, I'm going to leave it there. Again, Moon School, motivation class, working with the moon to bring in our manifestations. That's going to start on the 11th. If you're interested, just reach out to me at IndependenceStTarot.com, and I'll see you next time.